Dry time is a scam. That's a mantra I live by. Today, we're heading deep into the breadbasket of Jamaica. I'll show you where our thyme really comes from, meet the people who grow it, and explore why this tiny herb has such a massive role in Jamaican cooking. And if you've ever wondered what actually gives thyme its flavor, stick around, we're breaking that down too. Later, I'll show you how to lock in all that fresh aromatic goodness so you can ditch the dry stuff for good. I'm Nick and this one is extra delicious, so let's jump in. Thyme is a foundational herb in Jamaican cooking. It's responsible for a lot of the depth and complexity in our dishes, especially something like jerk, where thyme does a lot of the heavy background work. It's a woody plant from the mint family with a strong, earthy, slightly minty and peppery taste. That punch comes from its essential oils, and that's where things get interesting. The main compound here is thymol. It's volatile, meaning it evaporates or breaks down easily. This is what gives thyme that clean, herbal, almost medicinal scent. It's also a powerful antimicrobial and antifungal. In fact, thymol is the active ingredient in Listerine and other mouthwash. So if you've ever rinsed your mouth and felt that spicy medicinal burn, that's thymol at work. Thyme also has large amounts of carvacrol. Carvacrol has a warmer, more savory flavor and adds depth to thyme's profile. It's also an antimicrobial used in the food industry to control bacteria in things like meat and cheeses. If thymol is sharp and spicy, carvacrol is round and comforting. Thyme contains a bunch of other compounds too, many even more volatile than thymol. Those bright floral citrusy top notes, that's linalool. It's used in perfumes and candles for that exact reason. It lifts the scent and adds freshness. But it's the first to go when thyme is harvested or dried. Then there's borneol, which adds that deep, earthy, slightly woody note. Not flashy, but it gives thyme that grounded, robust flavor. Here's the catch. The more fragrant notes come from the most volatile compounds. The moment thyme is harvested, it starts losing those top notes. Some people say dry thyme is more potent, and they're not wrong. The less volatile compounds become more concentrated. But the thing is, those heavier compounds need the bright fresh ones to balance them out. That's why dry thyme often tastes bitter, harsh and flat. You get the heaviness but none of the lift. It becomes a one-note version of thyme. A good cook can still make it work, especially in longer simmers. But if you want the full experience, nothing beats the fresh, fragrant lift you get from finishing a dish with a sprig of fresh thyme. And listen, I get it. A lot of you make the scam work. Let us know down in the comments how you do that. Now that we've covered that, let's head to St. Best to see how thyme is actually grown. We're visiting Donovan Smith, a farmer who absolutely loves planting thyme. But first, we've got to talk about St. Elizabeth. St. Elizabeth is Jamaica's breadbasket and one of its largest parishes. St. Bess is one of my favorite places. One road trip and you pass some of Jamaica's most iconic spots. Places like Nassau Valley are stunning. It's one of the most productive farming regions in the country. It's also home to the famous Appleton Estate, one of the few rum producers in the world that controls every step of production. They grow their own sugarcane, manage their water sources, do their own distillation and bottling. All of it. There's a lot of culture and natural beauty here. If you've never been, definitely add it to your list. One place you don't even have to go out of your way for is Holland Bamboo. It's right on the A2 highway, so it's a must see if you're doing a South Coast trip. It's about 2.5 miles of bamboo trees lining both sides of the road. Originally planted to provide shade for travelers and slaves during colonial times. Today it's one of Jamaica's most photographed places. Driving through the bamboo tunnel is stunning, but seeing it from above is even better. We're only scratching the surface of what's in St. Bess. That's a whole other video, or maybe a few. Drop a comment if you call St. Elizabeth home. Now, let's finally meet Donovan before we forget this is a thyme video. Donovan grows his thyme near Alport, an alumina refinery near the Manchester border. He actually worked at Alport for years, but since operations were suspended in 2019, he had to scale back his thyme by about 80%. Back then, he got water from the Alport facility. No, not so much. Thyme is tricky. It needs consistent water but also well draining soil. Any water shortage can wipe out your entire crop. Have plans for a long-term water solution?
Well, the good solution right now I just say if the plant because here so the water commission water come right there. You don't have no pressure. Oh. You understand?
And then you're on a slope as well.
I'm on a slope, right. But even by my house over there, and I use a million. Me have meat and everything every month. Me have the line open every month, nil. Just nil. Me have the line up to one year tank. I just nil. I get no water and they send bill come give us a bill. You go down there and talk to them, send my truck water.
So what if you pump it from there up the hill?
What I did, you know, when the water come on Saturday, that line is an independent line. See there, you go up, I have a tank up there. So I harvest as much in the tank, but the scale not take much water at the time.
Oh.
Yeah, you need the water. So like how the rainy season go there now, that's what you just see those places that suffering.
And then by the time the dry season comes, then we already reap these right here.
Like, yes, well, when we say every Saturday, every other Wednesday, when the water comes, we wet it. All we get here and here, you know, everything will be soil out. We're not on the south. You see the soil now is a minor soil, a reclaim. So no substance in it, so we have to lose a lot of fertilizer. So if you see, we get rain up to we get rain over a weekend. And look on it.
Thyme is usually planted from seeds. That's how I grow it in my potted garden. But for faster, more reliable growth, you can propagate it by splitting mature plants. That's what Donovan does.
Because what happens is, say if we have the water, when we plant it, we cover it for 4 days straight, we'd have put in a very smaller
piece.
Oh. We have to put it big now for the sun, that's even sun burn it.
It still have enough
body to keep out the sun. You know? Yeah, you know why you plant it because don't get so flood out. But since they run the line, the wall.
Because I retain us.
Yeah, right, so I start utilize it up now. I say, okay. So I watch it when you get any amount of rain, and I say, wait. Since the wall run down, then I flood out again. So I'm third crop back down here. Yeah, I still plant scale down here because even if it's still and flood out,
still good.
Good. But the time when the time flood out and everything, dirty.
Oh yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Very
and
dirty.
when we go market, I don't want that.
Right, yeah, very dirty. So burn it down now. I say, some pumpkin now plant over there and just leave it.
Make it run.
Make it run. But it don't make no sense. Rainy season good right now, you know.
So it makes
no
sense.
To put in this whole production crop and then now 3 weeks from now you're in a problem.
You lose it, yeah.
Right, no water. Water is almost on this type of soil.
So if you put something more less labor intensive on you and
continue with me 2 patch at time same because and my favorite crop is a thyme.
Okay.
Yes. It's rotated so with cucumber and melon because of the drip system.
Okay.
You know, you understand? Yeah.
Mostly it have some melon right now.
So how long time take? Like the
3 months. Time 3 months crop. Time can go. You can't time in the field for 4 months, 5 months. Especially the variety here.
How which variety this?
We have one named St. Andrew. We call one Grendove, and we have one other one. But here the thing now, this one now is like a rather than introduce this one to New Forest. So the guy from New Forest said give me it. But you see this time here now. You see the original one you saw, you saw black rat. When it's ready, it can't keep too long. It starts getting a copperhead looking. And it can't withstand the drought like that. But you see this one here, very long in the field and the green and pretty same. So that's why we kind of switch to it and line on it.
So this whole community is all part?
Yes, it's surrounded by the plant. You call it a new building. Well, it's the name, the post office is the name. You know?
And most people work there are?
Well, not anymore because it's closed. Have a water problem. Because what happens when the plant is running, it runs by ship. So if a ship got in 4 o'clock in the evening, they may turn it off, say 3:30. By the end of the shift start, that ship come in and turn it on back. Because the water pump constantly in the plant. Otherwise for them reserve and everything full up and everything.
So them build a pond over there or
yes,
anything?
Yes, man, there's some massive because can you imagine them I run this for 4 hours and I'm one community them I give. about 3 different communities I give on Saturday, you know, and then I empty. You understand? Yeah, man, you have some massive. If you travel from that side, if you see them, I put up some water line on the main road coming up.
Yes.
For them pipe bigger than that. You come
really?
for them well. Yeah. You come for them well in the plant. Because they can't dig no well around here, so you know, because they're just so close to the plant and underground water stream kind of. Them say contaminated. You understand? They're just so close to the plant. So you have to pick and test. You have some well down further down in the building where they go and test it and see the water quality.
So I guess if we never have the plant around here, well, surrounding wouldn't so populated because
No.
the plant did actually have a
Right.
key part of the
Yeah,
community.
man, the brainchild of the community.
Yeah.
And they do bad and they do good, you know, because you know,
That
say,
is true. The
it's a
environment
chemical,
and
right,
one
and a chemical, but it do more
Yeah.
good than that. I just say your kids go to school, it make you have a house, so you can't complain. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like jobs and community development and
Yes,
all of
yeah,
that.
man, and
good
it sponsor
stuff.
a lot of things. You see me, I say, yeah, man,
Yeah.
a lot of things in sponsor, man. When the plant around, man, you won't see all these places bush up like this. And some back over in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, and them places, they don't put some backside plant over there. So the price kind of fluctuate. Yes, yeah, and yeah.
In a stable enough.
Right, and then now with the Russian them and US and you know the system go already with.
Yeah,
If you say Jamaica not to do this, you have to oblige by it, you know. You understand?
Yeah, because they want small power.
Yeah, if they stick one little
know.
sanction pan with, you know, it go. Right. And at the time when the plant closed, the Russian them would have it.
Oh.
09, yes, the Russian them have it.
Okay.
In 09 and a few been go in between. And then close it down and say them open the back, you never open back here. 2017.
Business
When the
gone down.
Chinese them get it. And then now Chinese come on and run it for 2 years and them, you know, happen them close it back down, so them go renovate it. Because when we over there, you know, when they come in and we say, when you look for equipment to pass here, say, you know, I go to my plant and I come from town, you know, we say, this plant now look again on the Chinese them, you know. Boop. You know much people left all from Kingston left them big job. Because they come from St. Elizabeth, so they come back closer to home. You don't have to pay rent, you know, understand and something there. Take out some car loan.
Wow.
Yeah, me I tell you, man. And no people affect me, I tell you, man. You just go right back down.
We spoke a few times on the phone, but this was our first time meeting and Donovan showed us peak hospitality. You'll be watching this video, so help me out and drop a thank you in the comments. Mine alone won't cut it. Big shout out to you, Mr. Smith. That's a whole heap still, because what me I go do a gateway. Mr. Smith, so thank you very much.
Yeah, man, likewise. You know?
You're very accommodating and thing, you know what I mean? And you show me time for me, you pile me up. But, you know, we appreciate it. Appreciate
Of
the
course.
talk and thing. And, we keep in touch. Alright, so no problem. Listen. Earlier we broke down why dry thyme is a scam. Now, let's look at how to preserve that fresh flavor and get creative with it. This is a thyme brush. Popular across the Caribbean, but people all over the world had the bright idea to use herbs as brushes. You just tie a few sprigs of thyme together, usually with cooking twine, but I'm trying to get in my daily dose of microplastics, so I use cling wrap. It's a great tool to use with barbecues, and I love using it to baste jerk chicken. It also works really great for brushing oil and butter onto breads and other baked goods. Use a fresh thyme brush for final basting so you capture all those top aromatic notes. Want to mix it up? Add rosemary, sage, citrus peels, or blend thyme with culantro or shadow benny for a real Caribbean vibe. Thyme tea is delicious and a great way to capture the aromas of fresh thyme. It's also a powerhouse for health. It helps with respiratory issues, indigestion, inflammation, and improves your mood. The aroma alone can reduce stress. I like to boil a few pieces of smashed ginger in a couple cups of water. Then use that spicy ginger water to steep a couple sprigs of fresh thyme. I'm using sugar to sweeten this, but for additional health benefits, use honey instead. Maybe even add some orange peel. Give that a quick mix, then let it steep for about a minute. Drink it right away for the best flavor and benefits. Yeah. The best long-term way to preserve the flavor of fresh thyme is to freeze it. I like to remove the woodier bits first. I'm going to place these in a Ziploc bag. But before that, I'm going to remove all the excess water from washing this. It's much better to store in multiple smaller portions, so you just take what you need from the freezer. Big bonus if you can vacuum seal your thyme before freezing. Frozen thyme loses its texture and color but holds on to those top notes from linalool and borneal really well. Stored properly, it will last up to 6 months with decent flavor, but it will fade slowly over time. Scotch bonnet peppers are hot, but they're also fruity, floral, and complex. That aroma comes from volatile compounds just like thyme. I'm using scotches and these little chilies. I don't know their name, but they're really delicious. Drop it in the comments if you recognize them. I'm going to use these to make an infused oil. Start with a couple sprigs of fresh thyme, just the leaves and maybe the softer stems. Next, add our sliced hot peppers. Gently heat enough olive oil to submerge everything. The oil should be warm but still touchable. Then pour that oil over the aromatics. The oil traps and infuses all that flavor, especially those volatile notes. This infused oil is excellent with some freshly baked bread. Use it as a salad dressing or really anywhere you want a little herbal spicy flavor. Fun fact, capsaicin, the compound that gives hot pepper their heat, is fat soluble. So infusing the oil with hot pepper actually tempers and mellows out the extreme heat. Start with a few sprigs of washed and dried thyme. Then simply pour over enough of your preferred vinegar to fully submerge it. This can be used for salad dressings and vinaigrettes, as a pickling brine, or just a splash in soups and stews to lift the flavor. It also makes a great finishing touch on roasted vegetables or meat. It has medicinal uses too. Thyme vinegar has antimicrobial properties and is sometimes even used as a natural hair rinse. You can combine thyme with other herbs or hot pepper for a more complex infusion. Next up is thyme honey, and it's the same principle. Submerge fresh thyme in honey to extract and trap the plant's volatile flavors and aromas. The difference is that honey brings sweetness, so it opens up more culinary uses. You can use thyme honey as a sweetener instead of sugar for added flavor and the combined benefits of thyme and honey. Honey naturally has a long shelf life, so do oil and vinegar. But infusing them with herbs introduces water and other elements that can reduce that shelf life. Depending on how you make these and how much herb you use, you might be able to store them at room temperature. But for the best quality, just keep them refrigerated. Thyme honey and thyme vinegar can last for months. Infused oils, on the other hand, only last a couple of weeks. From all these infusions, there's a clear trend. We're using a liquid or fat as a medium to capture all the fresh thyme goodness. And if oil, honey and vinegar can carry thyme's flavor, what about butter? Fats do an incredible job of holding onto aromatic compounds, and thyme butter is one of the tastiest ways to preserve and use fresh thyme. It's rich, versatile, and just like the others, it captures all that flavor in a smooth, spreadable form. To make thyme butter, start with fresh thyme leaves. Adjust the amount depending on how strong you want the flavor. Next, add cold, semi-solid butter. It will soften up as you mix it. Starting with butter that's too soft can break the emulsion, which affects flavor distribution and how well the butter works in cooking. I'm pressing the butter into a silicone bottom ice tray to portion it out easily. Softened butter is a bit trickier to work with here, but a little finesse goes a long way. You can press it down to remove any air pockets, but it's not a big deal either way. Since we already have the ice tray out, let's use it for another preservation trick. Add some thyme leaves into the remaining empty slots. Again, adjust the amount to your liking. Then top off each one with olive oil. That's going to give us individual portions of a flavor bomb to use in our cooking. This will be going into the freezer. The oil takes a while to freeze, but the butter solidifies quickly. We could even refrigerate the butter. Once frozen, we get these lovely portions of butter that we can just pop out as needed. These are great for adding both butter and that excellent fresh thyme flavor to food. They're great in stews and sauces. Just a couple cubes can transform a pot of plain white rice. I've still got a bit of butter left, so let's make one more thing. I'm adding a bit more butter to this bowl, along with some of my homemade all-purpose season. This spice blend was made by Dehydrating Herbs and Aromatics. I'll link that video in the description if you want to check it out. Add a couple teaspoons of the season to the butter and mix it in until it's well incorporated. I tried cling wrap first, but that didn't work out, so I switched to wax paper. Fold over one edge, add a bit of tension, and now just roll it up like a cigar. Then twist both ends to shape it into a neat cylinder. And that's our compound butter. This will go into the freezer to chill and firm up. Compound butter is perfect for finishing steaks, roast veggies, or in my case, a warm slice of homemade bread. Absolutely delicious. These are phenomenal ways to preserve and extend the life of fresh thyme. Each method uses a different medium to trap those bright herbal notes, and you can customize them to your taste. My number one way to keep fresh thyme fresh though is to keep a plant. I already had a thyme plant, but Donovan gave me a few sprigs of another variety. So I planted those and they're doing really well. You can't get it any fresher than cutting it right from your own garden. I hope you got a ton of value from this video, because that's why I make them. Special thanks to our patron who helped fund our road trip. Your support not only keeps the kitchen cooking, it helps us tell different stories, and I really appreciate that. You can become a patron member for the low cost of totally free, so check that out. And of course, a big thanks to Mrs. Feed and Teach for all the help behind the scenes. And thank you for watching. Bless up.